Welcome to Men at the Tap, a podcast from Tapestry Ministries. Each episode reflects on a daily Bible reading from the Revised Common Lectionary. I'm Gloria, a fellow traveler on a spiritual journey with the Tapestry community, and we refer to the daily Bible reading as our spiritual manna. It nourishes our souls, fostering spiritual growth as we share insights and interpretations that enrich our spiritual lives. Today is Wednesday, September the 10th, 2025, in the 13th week after Pentecost during the season of ordinary time. This is a time for us to live an extraordinary disciplined life as we grow spiritually. The lectionary reading is from the New Testament Gospel of Luke, chapter 18, verses 18 to 30. It depicts an encounter between Jesus and a wealthy man who approached him saying, "Good teacher," and asking, "What must I do to deserve eternal life?" Jesus was surprised by the way the man addressed him, asking in return, "Why are you calling me good?" Then Jesus answered his own question. "No one is good, only God." Jesus then revisited the question of the wealthy man, and he quoted 5 of the 10 ancient commandments of the law given by Moses to the people on how they were to treat each other when they moved from the desert and into the promised land. The 5 commandments were common knowledge to every boy who had learned and recited them at his bar mitzvah. They were no illicit sex, no killing, no stealing, no lying, and honor your parents. The wealthy man responded that he had attended his bar mitzvah in his youth, and up to the present time he had followed these commandments. Jesus then said to him, "There's only one thing left for you to do. Sell everything you own and give it away to the poor. You will have wealth in heaven. Then, when you've done that, come follow me." This was the very last thing the man expected to hear. At that moment, he felt very sad, despite being quite wealthy. You see, he was holding on tightly to many things and was not about to let them go. Now, you may wonder why Jesus would say those words to someone trying to understand what they must do to gain eternal life. I say that's a good question you're asking. The 5 commandments Jesus mentioned came from the second list of commandments given to the people. They were the ones about relationships with each other. But there was still the first set of commandments, the ones about a two-way relationship with God. And to have a two-way relationship with God was to have no other gods before God. And that God is with a small g. Have no other small g gods or idols before God. What Jesus was telling this man was that his wealth had become his God, his idol. And if he truly desired eternal life, he would need to loosen his grip on his wealth. Can you imagine Jesus looking at this man with eyes of love, as he challenged him to love God more than his wealth. This man considered himself wealthy, but in reality, he was poor due to his lack of a two-way relationship with God. And Jesus was calling him to let go and become one of his disciples. Well, to diffuse the tension of the moment, and as the wealthy man walked away, Jesus humored the crowd. Do you have any idea how difficult it is for people who have it all to enter God's kingdom? I'd say it's easier to thread a camel through a needle's eye than to get a rich person into God's kingdom. The crowd then wanted to know who had a chance. Jesus replied that it is impossible if you try to do it on your own, but everything is possible for God. I have a question for you. Why is it easier to appreciate the blessings God gives us more than pursuing a two-way relationship with Him? Just something for you to think about.